down.
Let's talk about one of the issues that has come to the forefront in your subcommittee, the Capital Markets Subcommittee. David Einhorn from Greenlight Capital writes in, and he says he wants to know what's going to happen with the ratings agencies. It was a huge question, but it seems to have fallen off the radar screen.
Well, I think it's a big question, and I think the Congress is in a position that we have to resolve it. The administration sent up their white paper, and although it discussed in several paragraphs the rating agencies, it didn't put nearly the weight on them nor the analysis of them. The reality is, what do you do in a free enterprise system with a First Amendment right of free speech when you need some entity out there to give some of us who are not in the market every day and terribly sophisticated an ability to have an impartial analysis of the value of things? And rating agencies were expected to do that and probably did a good job for a number of years. And then we got into securitization, and AAA became the mantra of the day. And it meant millions of dollars in fees, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in fees. And quite frankly, some of our rating agencies, all the independent, not government entities, I think they let us down. And I think the American people and the investment community know they let us down. And we're not going to correct this problem if in the future they can let us down again by the user paying the rating agency for the value of their valuation.
But who pays for it if they don't?
Well, it wasn't done that way before. Prior to 1970, the user paid for it. It was changed around to make profit or because it became convenient.
It's not nearly as profitable. It's not nearly as profitable when you don't have the issuers paying the big fees for the ratings.
Well, I agree with you, but, you know...
Well, the Washington Post is up against the same thing. Not nearly as profitable when you don't
go to dinner with your sponsor.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, there's a perfect example, and I like the Washington Post. How could a newspaper decide to do that and not, conjure up all the ideas of what that meant in our system?
Because the newspapers are almost out of business. I mean, you got to change your business model.
No, part of our problem is we've taken commercial free speech so far, and we've gone to the altar of profit in free speech that it's become dangerous. It's a commodity now to be sold. And that's very dangerous. It used to be impartial. Newspapers before were political party entities, but they only wrote for that entity. They weren't part of a conglomerate.
Well, I can tell you it's not going to happen here. Let me just get a sip of my Tim Hortons delicious coffee, and we're going to...
Delicious.
Oh, my God. The Arabica beans are like... no news organization would ever do that. Oh, what?
David Einhorn said you're our best hope, though. Are you going to do something about the ratings agencies?
We are going to try. We're certainly having additional hearings. We've already had some hearings. We're already in task force working group to draft much stricter legislation than the administration has recommended. And we've got to find an answer to it, because I think, like the real estate problem, if we don't stabilize real estate, we're not going to bring the economy back. Well, if we don't get ratings to function again, to really function again truthfully, we can't have securitization. We can't have the amount of capital come into our system from around the world if people can't rely on the judgment of independent analysis.
Right, fair enough.